Hey guys, a steaming pile of ship here, and I've got a replay in a ship that I really wish I could have done a video on earlier when it was released, and that is the Scharnhorst, but I've not had a good game up until pretty recently. But I finally had a good match not too long ago on the Shards map here, and I figured let's get a video out on it before the anniversary of its sinking happens next week. I believe it was sunk on December 26th, if I'm correct, which is right after Christmas, of course. And at the time of the recording of this video, Christmas is right around the corner. For top tier here, I don't really think anyone's going to be surprised by that. Scharnhorst is a tier 7. Matchmaking pretty much favors tier 7s. Tier 5s really get shafted lately, but I hope they fix that eventually. But again, we're here on the Shards map, and I'm going to start heading off towards C. I really like C because C, if you go towards it, and here I'm just admiring the ship in the replay, but look at those turrets. But if you go towards C from this side, it's open on your side, so you're not confined as you enter the cap. You're confined as you leave the cap. And I don't know, for me, I feel like it's better to have, you're not as, like, if a destroyer hides around the corner of C, he's going to have a little bit harder time at torping you point blank. But if a DD beats you to A and you're in a ship like this, realistically, he can just shotgun torp you, and there's really not much you can do because you can't move left or right in those little channels. And if you don't go forward, he just zooms out in front of you, fires the torps, and then he's behind cover again because islands on left and right are so close to each other that it's just like, whoop, he's right past you, the torps are in the water, and you can't dodge because you'll run aground. So I like going towards C, so it's a little bit easier to avoid that from this side if you go to the open cap. If I had the other spawn, I'd be going towards A for the same exact reasons I'm going towards C now. Looks like we've got a few cruisers, a couple battleships going towards C. Just a destroyer and 2 cruisers look like they're going towards A. Taking a few shots over there. I don't know if they'll hit, but whatever. Excuse me. Colorado here, he's fairly broadside, but this is a pretty long shot, so I'm not sure what those will do. The Scharnhorst, the guns don't have the best pen. I mean, they're 11-inch guns. I think those are the smallest guns in the game, which is kind of unfortunate, but it does give you a pretty fast reload, which means I'm going to be able to take a shot on this Bodiani here fairly quickly. And I think that's probably the Scharnhorst's biggest strength, is it just tears cruisers to pieces. Shots out on the Bodiani, and let's see what happens. Yeah, and what was I telling you? Very, very good at tearing up cruisers, and I'm almost reloaded again. So, if I'd been firing in a Colorado, I'd have done a little more damage, but overall, I'm able to fire again, so maybe I'll get another Citadel. Now, we've noticed on the minimap there's a Farragut here, and now you can actually see the thing, so we're going to designate him for our secondary batteries. And I'm going to wait for the the Dunkirk up there to go around the corner and blunder into his torpedoes because, quite honestly, I'm tier 7 battleship. He's tier 6. Scharnhorst, I think, is a better ship to have alive. Plus, I don't want to die. I'll just let him do it. And he's probably going to eat it. Our secondaries managed to kill the Farragut, but he manages to get the torps off and kill the Dunkirk. But now I don't have to worry about it, so you know what? Good enough trade in my book. And here's where I notice there's a cruiser pretty dang close to me. We'll fire the guns on that, and we're going to look over here, and there's an Atlanta. Now, I've got a Marblehead moving, and it looks like he's probably going to try and torp the thing and then get out of there. Secondary batteries designated on the Atlanta here. And I mentioned that this thing shreds cruisers, but it still has to be broadside cruisers. The Atlanta, pretty paper ship. I still bounced most of those shells. Or, well, only 2 of them hit, actually, and 1 was penetration, the other bounced, so... yeah. Secondaries are opening up, though. I don't want to get too close because he has torpedoes. I'm getting ready to torp him myself, but he takes a huge hit, and my secondaries will actually finish him off for the second kill of the game. And the second secondary kill of the game. So already we've got 2 kills with our close quarters, or our secondary guns. I really wish every time you got one of those medals, you get more flags, you know, if it's stacked, but unfortunately it's once a day. Scharnhorst come around here. I did see a Fuso, though, and he was broadside, so I'm waiting to spot him. And there he is. Go ahead and fire the guns at him. He's starting to turn out, so I don't know what this will... alright, I'll take 9,000 any day. We've managed to capture C just by sitting in it. And here's one of the... I was mentioning you kind of get funneled in these caps. I'm actually going to pretty much get funneled as I exit here because I don't have the turning radius to have turned out. If I had turned a little earlier, sure, but... and let's actually go for the Scharnhorst here because he's presenting a better broadside. That's one of the things, again, you really have to watch the broadsides. It's a lot like playing the German cruisers at the high tiers. You know, you get decent damage with the AP, and about to run aground, let's not do that. But you get pretty good damage with the AP, but you have to pen it, and they have lighter weight shells than most ships, you know, contemporary ships, and so you really don't have that great penetration, you just have good penetration damage, and that really, to me, kind of makes me a little mad, because, especially on ships like the Hindenburg, and the upcoming, well, actually they're out now, but the German destroyers, realistically, if you're going to give them better AP damage, give them a little bit better penetration. Like, come on. I don't... you know, if you're going to give them bad HE, fair enough, but give the AP, you know, good pen, so you're not... I don't want to say completely useless, but you're not at a huge disadvantage just when they angle. You know, heck, the Royal Navy gets better penetration, and they only have 6-inch guns. I guarantee you those have got to be lighter shells, wouldn't you think? But they artificially buff them so they're usable. Anyways, back to this. Scharnhorst, again, giving us a pretty good broadside, so we'll engage him rather. Fuso's angled away, you saw me shoot at him a little earlier. And that's one of the things about this, you don't see huge Citadel volleys against other battleships. But you can tell that I'm taking, you know, 3-4K chunks off of these ships usually every time. And if you aim for the upper belt, you know, it's very easy to rack up the damage just by getting regular penetration hits. And since you have the faster reload, like, it's not as big of a deal that you don't get the Citadels. You see 4,200 right there. I'm staying angled against him. I really don't think he's going to pen me if I stay angled. Well, I know he won't, because I can't pen him. We're about to load HE, because I want to set him on fire. Secondaries have been designated for when I get in range, and they're almost there. And there's a 4,000 hit again. But the Fuso is probably the bigger threat in terms of getting actually penned from the angles. So we'll try and angle against them both. Now, I'm pretty much expecting at this point that the Scharnhorst is going to try and torp me. Because realistically, I know that since I'm traveling towards him, by the time his torps were to get here, they would hit me. They have the range. They only have 6-kilometer range, but since I'm traveling towards them, you know, we both cover the gap. And I would be traveling into the range. So I'm expecting them, and I took out his tubes, ironically, but I'm expecting them to be in the water by now. And that's something that, you know, if you feel like you're going to torp someone in the Scharnhorst, as I'm about to try and do here, you can pretty much expect something else to try and torp you back. If you're in the Scharnhorst, or the same thing with the Tirpitz or the Gneisenau as well, or anything really with torpedoes. But especially these battleships where this is a huge, you know, close-in, and there's torps go, close-in sort of, you know, there's a panic button almost. Now, here's where I do mess up. I was mentioning you gotta expect him to be in the water, and I'm about to torp him. But I'll aim ahead because he's in the turn. But here's where I should have probably just waited for his torps and then tried to torp him, because I'm gonna eat, looks like all 3 of these. I managed to kill him, but just watch. This is gonna really hurt. Now, damage saturation actually just saved me right there. You saw that 3rd torp didn't really do much. That's because I took so much damage in the front of the ship right there. We'll go ahead and repair that flooding, but that was too big of a hit. We've got AP loaded from that engagement, but I'm going to fire it off and load HE and try and set some of these BBs on fire from long range. And that's something that you really, like, again, I'm mentioning the Scharnhorst isn't like a true battleship. You really can't be afraid to use HE in this ship. Like, don't just spam it, you know, constantly. You see me, I'm switching between the ammo types quite a bit during this match, but don't be afraid to use it. You know, I'm going to set this guy on fire, hopefully, and, you know, he's about to go out of line of sight, so if I set him on fire, we'll go ahead and repair some damage here, and there we go. But, you know, I'm getting damage right now, and I can't even shoot him, you know, so what good does the AP do right there? And if, you know, you have as little penetration as the Scharnhorst does, the HE is really handy, because you'll be able to still do damage to them when they angle. Now, I was mentioning the Royal Navy cruisers, and that's something they don't get, you know, as HE. Very good reasons why. But that really does limit your damage potential if the enemy's smart enough to angle against you, or just doing it by accident, really. So we're trying to set this Colorado on fire here again. The other Colorado is about on the other side of the island, and I think he's still ticking a little bit with that fire damage. Me and my big mouth. He just stopped. Looks like he might have repaired it, but he got set on fire again. So maybe mine just went out, actually. We'll fire HE again, try and get another fire going, because that one's burning, so why not try? A nice 5,000 hit there, no fire, but, you know, 5,000 for 5,000, so... Loading AP back up, because I do have his broadside right now, but as soon as I start loading it up, he starts turning too, so that's kind of annoying. I thought that Molotov was a lot closer, but it wasn't. You just got to lead it anyways. So we're going to shoot for a superstructure, so we get, you know, as much damage as we can. We'll fire some torpedoes. I don't really expect them to get the kill, but, well, you never know your luck. And if anything, they might get him to turn and give me broadside. But we're keeping the AP loaded because now we do have broadside. And we'll go ahead and fire it off. I'm going to follow the torps real quick. See, yeah, they look like they're going to miss. We've set them on fire with our secondaries, but look at that. I don't know if that was a citadel, because I was able to repair a good amount, but it really looked like it. And that's something that's different between this ship and the Tirpitz. You know, besides the gun calibers, the difference between gun caliber. And there's our 3rd close quarters expert of the game. But the armor on the front is not nearly as thick in the direct front of the ship as it is on the Tirpitz. I'm going to try and get behind his armor, and there we go. We hit him right in the rear, but you saw how big of a hit that was, and I was bow. You know, in a Tirpitz, that probably wouldn't have happened, but the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau, it definitely will. So you really need to angle... and basically, you want to bait them into shooting the side armor on the ship. That way, when they do, essentially they'll bounce off of your 350, I think it's 350 millimeter side armor. Oh, that was bad dispersion there. But they'll bounce, you know, you bait them into shooting that side armor so they bounce off of it, versus just shooting straight into you, into your bow, and getting those big pens like that. So I don't know if that was a citadel, but it certainly felt like it. Now we're going to wait for this Fuso to fully complete his turn here, because hopefully he'll go broadside, but I don't know, if he doesn't do it soon, we're going to have to fire him off, because he's going to be behind that island. Got HE ready for shooting at the next target. And see, there you go, 7,000 hits. Again, not a citadel there, but I'm not complaining about that damage, you know. Now you'll see I just got my heal back in the bottom there, and I'm going to actually save that in case I take another hit, because I want to basically, if I get citadel, it's going to be over anyways, but if I, you know, start taking maybe secondary fire, or an HE hit, I'll be able to repair more damage if I save it until later. That's something that with battleships you really need to do is manage your heals really well. Firing over the side of this island, hope to set them on fire. A couple of them hit the island, but, well, yeah. Gonna come around the corner. I'm starting to turn already because I'm doing a wider turn, but I don't want him to shoot me in the bow and finish me off, so he's about dead here. I think we'll be able to finish him. Come on. Surely we'll be able to finish him. Well, me and my big mouth. Come on, someone get him before he damages me. Hey. Ooh, and that was why I saved the heal. You saw that. That was, I think, 464 health. And I'm able to repair basically back to where I would have had I not saved that heal. You know, I'm actually pretty much where I was just a few seconds ago before I took the hit and healed up because now the Colorado hit me. Gonna try and set him on fire with the HE. He's probably gonna turn back full broadside, but at this point, I'd rather hit him and set him on fire and get a little more ticks of damage than just the one, you know, salvo. Because I probably die right here. Oh, no, not quite. Okay, 495 health, and I can't repair right now, so we set him on fire. A little bit of damage clicking here, or ticking here, rather. But looks like he's put it out. This game's almost over, though. Let's fire one more time. Almost reloaded on the other gun. You'll see that it's staggered reload now because I got my turret taken out. Someone took him out. And all in all, that was a great match, I think. The damage wasn't as big as some damage that I've seen from other players, but, you know, just look, I've got 3 close quarters experts. That's insane. The Confederate medal, the Dreadnought, rather, not surprisingly. Kraken Unleashed, and then the high caliber, as I started to say. Yeah, it's pretty good. Quite a bit of XP right there, 2200. I will take that, and just look at all those medals. Going in here, and I was talking about the HE, and I did 31,000 with the HE, and a decent amount of fire damage. But you gotta realize you can't play this like a normal battleship. And I think that's one of the things I really like about it. It is a challenge. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I am going to call it good. You guys have a good one.